we got special guest. Brought in my homie, the GOAT, Mr. G. Shoot. This is my first guest on the show. Definitely. But I had to bring in one of my good friends so we can talk about the top 5 NFL quarterbacks in the league right now. So we're going to give our top 5 and maybe just a little reason why, you know.
That's fair.
The reason why we're going to pick them. So we're going to start from 5 and count down to 1.
Okay.
All right.
I can do that.
All right. So for my 5th pick that I have for my top 5, I have Cam Newton.
What?
Okay. Right.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I've always been a big fan of Cam all the way back to when he played at Auburn. So when he got to the league, like, he was just dominating. He was just killing. And he's had maybe a slow 2 years after the big Super Bowl run. And with him being with Belichick and in the Patriots offense, I definitely think that he's going to rise back up to his MVP. You know, we're going to get MVP Cam Newton again.
We'll see.
You're going to get MVP Cam Newton. I'm calling it right now. MVP Cam Newton. That's why I had to pick him 5th. I just had to do it. Cam's a favorite of mine. So
Okay. So number 5, I'm gonna go with my man Aaron Rodgers, the gunslinger. He's been doing it for a lot more years than even Cam has. Slinging the ball around Green Bay. The guy can throw off at any platform, moving left, right, wherever he can in the pocket. He hasn't had a lot of great talent around him.
He throws the ball while he's in the air.
He makes it work. He pirouettes like a little ballerina out there.
It's just like
it works. There's not many other quarterbacks that can do that. Again, working with less talent than most, I would say that he's definitely in my top 5.
But they actually have a squad this year.
Yes.
They actually have a decent team this year. I actually like the Packers to actually get to the playoffs, do a little damage.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be a sneaky team. They're not going to be a team that everybody's like, oh, yeah, they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I think they can make the playoffs and definitely probably make the second round at least.
Yeah, they consistently make it and then just end up fizzling out.
Yeah.
Some crazy thing happens.
You have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's definitely a top tier NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Always been. So when you have that kind of talent, you can always do something. For my 4th pick, I have the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. Yes, I have him down there 4th, but I mean, that's not taking anything away from Lamar. I still think that he's probably going to have another MVP-worthy season coming up this year. But, I mean, there's so many good quarterbacks in the league right now, so I had to take him for. Honestly, it's tough because we're only doing the top 5 guys, and these 5 guys right now all make, a big difference on their team. So at any given point in time, like, Lamar could really fluctuate from 1 to 4 right now with how he's been playing. So I got him at 4th, but like, we see as the year goes on if he can put up the same numbers, which I think he can, because I mean, that offense that they're running in Baltimore is tough, especially if they get up on you. It's pretty much game over. They're running out the clock the rest of the game pretty much.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of drives that they had like 14 plays.
Yeah, they're just gonna run it down your throat literally the entire game. Like, what can you do when Lamar is dropping back to pass, but then he runs for 20 yards? Like, and then he turns around and he gives it to Mark Ingram and he runs through your face. And then he comes back and runs it again. And you're like, they haven't passed the ball yet.
Yeah. That play action game is on another level.
It's crazy.
It's wide open downfield.
Yeah, so I like Baltimore offense, and I think they're definitely going to be up for a run this year too.
Yeah. In
the playoffs, so we'll see what they do.
All right, for number 4, I will take it to the Texans and give it to my man Deshaun Watson. I think since him coming into the league, he has been a dominant player.
That's for sure. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah, he again obviously having DeAndre Hopkins is a huge help. But even if you look at his the amount of targets comparatively to some of the other players on his team, he spreads the ball around a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And So having a top tier guy like that on the outside is great, but when you can distribute the ball and just put it on the money and have the ability to run, and maneuver around like some of the next guys have, it's pretty.
Well, this year we're going to get to see him really distribute the ball evenly, more even than he ever has because he lost DeAndre. Mm-hmm. So now he doesn't have that true number one wide receiver anymore like he did. So definitely going to rely strictly off his playmaking and just his IQ, which is really high. I really like Deshaun myself. I mean, I don't have him on my list, but honestly, I would probably pick him 6. If him and Cam were like this, I'm a really big fan of Cam Newton, and I'm a big fan of Deshaun too. But I just put Cam in mine, so I like that pick. I like that pick for sure. So for my third pick, I have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we pretty much already went over why. Everyone knows that Aaron Rodgers is probably going to go down. Would you say he's top 10 quarterbacks all time?
He's probably in the top 10.
I definitely have him in my top 10 quarterbacks all time. His arm alone and his accuracy on the run, in and out the pocket, people sleep on him. He's athletic. And I don't want to hear this sneaky athletic. Aaron Rodgers he had some wheels. He's a little bit slower now, but he definitely could move out the pocket and throw it accurately. That's really hard to do. It's really hard to do so.
Yeah. He's not going to be your guy that, busted for a 40-yard run. But again, being able to make a play with your feet is mandatory now in the NFL.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
He's able to make that happen.
Yeah, so needless to say that you understand why we have him on our list. Easily.
All right. So speaking of escapability, my number 3 is Lamar Jackson. Hands down, the most athletic quarterback to probably play the game ever.
Over Michael Vick?
I would say, talent-wise, he might be up there as the most elusive quarterback to play the game.
Oh man, that's
the guy is a freak, and if he can improve his throwing mechanics to be a little bit more accurate consistently, he tends to, when he gets that pressure, he loses his platform a little bit, and doesn't have that torque ability like your man Aaron Rodgers does. To be able to, pivot like a ballerina type thing. But
I actually like him to improve that over the course of his career.
Yeah.
Just because he's with Harbaugh.
Yeah.
When you're with he wasn't a great quarterback himself, but he's had the ability to coach really good quarterbacks. I don't know what it is. When you're not a good player yourself, for some reason you can coach other people into being really great players. And he's done it a couple of times. Mm-hmm. So I really think that those two together, they stick together. We can have something kind of how Tom Brady was with Belichick. Yeah. They stayed together for so long that you can't even really think about Tom Brady. No one knows how good Tom Brady will be without Belichick. Yeah. I think we're probably going to have the same thing with Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Lamar's even came out himself and said during his time at Louisville, his first 2 years he didn't even know the playbook. And he was still almost a Heisman candidate. So, again, just allowing him to just play the backyard football. But transition that to the NFL where the escape routes, you understand blitz pressures, where to escape to. Okay, if I got a man blitz, I'm going to run right instead of run left. No matter the pressure, I need to avoid this, whatever. So I think that, again, his IQ as it progresses is only going to make him an even better athlete than he is.
Like you said, that run game in Baltimore is deadly. If they get up, you might as well just call it game. Unless you're Pat Mahomes and you just come out and throw one pass. That's pretty much the only way.
We'll see.
That's the only way. So for my second, I have the great, I'm calling him the great, Russell Wilson, man. Russell Wilson. Look, this guy, he's just a winner. He's just a winner. It's crazy what they're doing in Seattle. Meanwhile, they just got Jamal Adams in a trade. Come on. Jamal Adams is Earl Thomas on steroids, basically. Like he's big, way more physical and bigger than Earl Thomas. So, I mean, and besides that, just Russell Wilson alone, just him, like, if you just seen what he's been able to do over the period of time, and no one could really say that he's had a real top tier wide receiver. Like, has he had a true number one guy? Like, yes, he's made Tyler Lockett into a really good player, but is he a number one on any other team in the NFL? Like, that's how good Russell Wilson is. Like, he's making guys a number one target that probably will be second, maybe third on most NFL teams. Just, he's making them look good. So I had to put him up there. I mean, he's proven it. Like, he's proven that he's a top tier quarterback in the league, and he's been there for a while.
So my number 2 is going to be a surprise to everyone on the planet. I have Pat Mahomes at number 2, not number 1. I have him at number 2.
Wow.
My reason being, again, the guy has all the talent in the world. I will not deny that. He has all the capability, whether it's his escapability, his understanding of the game, how to manipulate coverages, how to move his receivers and put them in the right position to be successful. As well as, again, even in the run game, putting them in a position to be able to get out of run plays that they don't need to be in. Again, that same bond you're talking about between Brady and Belichick,
it's crazy.
that he has out there with Andy Reid, is pretty amazing. It's literally a perfect fit for his skill set. You look at some of his past quarterbacks that he's worked with. I'd most compare him to like a McNabb almost.
He's like McNabb on steroids.
Yeah, just a more athletic, than that, which is pretty strong words. So, again, I think the guy has a lot to prove to me to show that he can actually be that guy.
His improvement over the course that he's been in the NFL has been crazy. Because I don't know if you've seen his tapes when he was at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. He just had an arm. That year that he set out, like, he really became a way better quarterback. Like, it's crazy to, that year. I don't know what Andy Reid had him doing for that year, but, man, you other NFL teams, you definitely need to get in there and find out what he did with Pat Mahomes for that year. Because he came out, like, everybody knew he had that arm, but, like, his IQ just changed dramatically. I don't know if it's the offense or what, but
if you look at it if you look at it from the quarterback lens, I think his evolution of understanding defenses more so than the offense itself. The offenses are usually pretty easy to understand. They're all very similar. That old Andy Reid offense is a lot of drive concepts where there's a crosser and an over, and you're manipulating that second range of defenders, and then trying to take the top off with one guy over top always. So
they got the fastest man in the.
And so when that's there, it's a home run. But for the most part, his ability to understand different coverages, I think, is what's made him stand out even more. He can put the ball in the money at 75 yards. But
75.
That sounds great. But when you can manipulate those under coverages and put the ball exactly where it needs to be for those other guys, and again, having like Sammy Watkins and those other additions, I mean, he's got all the tools that he needs to be successful.
For sure. I mean, he definitely has the offense built around him, but it's still just so crazy to see his transition from a year.
Yeah.
Just a year. That transition was crazy. Like, definitely. But, it's a solid pick. I still don't understand why he's second.
But not there yet.
Well, like I said, I don't understand why he has Pat Mahomes at second. But me, he's number 1. It's like, come on, man. The man throws literally, like, bombs. Like, I believe he could probably. You think he can throw 80 yards? He can. 80 yards is, and that's not easy. I guarantee you.
But so could Jamarcus Russell. That's all I'm gonna say.
Boy, if you don't get.
So, again, my debate will always be Arm strength does not impress me.
No, arm strength doesn't.
Nope.
It's not. It's still like really good to see it, but that's what I was saying when when you had him at like his IQ. His IQ has changed so much that it's just like he knows what he's doing and he's very confident. He's very confident. Before at Texas Tech, I don't know what was going on, but if you just watch some clips of him, like sometimes he looked like maybe he didn't know the playbook. Maybe he didn't really. Well, he came out and said he didn't understand defenses.
Yeah.
He came out and said so. Look, he just looks really good right now, and like I had to put him number one. Like I had to. I think he's gonna win MVP next year because they gave it to Lamar this year. Lamar got it. I mean, he had a very impressive year this year. I definitely think Pat Mahomes is probably gonna win it. If my boy Cam Newton don't win it, he might snatch in and jump. But other than that, I got Pat Mahomes. I got my money on Pat Mahomes.
All right, so my surprise pick of the day is Russell Wilson at number 1. Again, like when I talk about consistency over time, efficiency, and then deep ball accuracy, the man puts the ball where it needs to be on the money. Again, speaking from a quarterback lens, I can throw the ball 50 yards, 60 yards, 70 yards, but if I can't put it exactly where only
Where
my
you want it to be,
where only my guy can get it, it doesn't matter. So, again, I think that his ability to do that consistently over the last 7-8 years now
it's crazy.
Is pretty amazing.
They haven't had a losing season.
Nope.
They have not had a losing season since he's been in Seattle.
Yep. He has had a 68% completion percentage over the last 5 years. So that's
without a real wide receiver. He does not have a true number.
Finally, he has DK Metcalf, who could be that big deep threat they've been looking for. Again, he had Doug Baldwin when he was again one of those guys that could have been like a mid-range receiver on any other team. Definitely a number 2, but not a number 1. Lockett now, same thing. Probably not a shining star on anybody else's.
Nobody's saying he's definitely a number 2.
Yeah. And then you look at like the loss of their run game, and again, their coaching. Pete Carroll always being that run-driven type of guy. Again, his scheme is not best fit to what his capability is. So the reason why I believe he is my number 1 quarterback is that, again, if they can adapt that style, any sort of a new style to fit what his skill set is, to better off suit against the better matchups like the Chiefs or the Packers or something like that, who's going to run up the score on you, I think that eventually they will win those Super Bowls again.
I don't know. They got so much. They got so much they have to work on. But I like that you touched on them losing their ability to really run the ball. That really matters. I don't think a lot of people really think about that. If you think of any top tier quarterback that you probably can go all the way back, they probably had a really good running back. They probably had a really good running back because you have to be able to make teams think that you're not going to pass the ball the entire game. Like you have to. He hasn't really had that the last couple of years, and his percentage is still really high. So that speaks to how great that he's been over the course of these last 4 or 5 years since he left. Like
the guy throws darts. That's all I'm saying. He puts the ball exactly where his receiver needs it. Again, tight coverage or not,
and he's a little guy. And he's a little guy. He's
gotta
not
love the little guys.
He's not
short guys.
He's not 6'4", just like this. He's like 5'10", maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. His offensive linemen are probably like staggering like over him. So.
Yep. It's tough. It's tough to see through windows. I give anybody like that credit. Again, I'm only 5'11", 6 foot on a good day. But again, playing quarterback in college, it's tough to have linemen that are 6'5", 6'6", then try to see outside above them all the time, and seeing between those windows is a lot different. And I have a lot of respect for those type of guys that can do that in the NFL level.
Listen, you're taller than me, and I aspired when I was younger to be a quarterback, but I didn't grow fast enough and grow at all really to a point. So I was forced to play another position just because our linemen were huge. Like one of the guys that was on my team, he's in the NFL. He's 6'6", like 3. Like I couldn't see over him. Yeah. He's almost a foot taller than me. He's almost a foot taller than me. So how am I throwing the ball to someone 30, 40 yards down the field and I can't even see over my own lineman?
Yep.
So for him to be able to do that with that consistency is really crazy. It's really crazy. That's our top 5 NFL quarterbacks that we have right now. And listen, I think we should do another list. We should do some more lists. We're gonna have Jake come back. We're gonna do, you know, top 5 maybe wide receivers. We can do wide receivers or maybe running backs. We can do one of those. We see. So that video will be coming out soon. So you guys be on the watch for that. But look, like I said, I mean, it is fun. This is cool. I like doing this. We gotta do this more often. Always remember, money talks. Don't ask me why I talk too much.